Welcome back to Not So Grand Garage. Today we're doing a little something on the hauler project. It's a big day because now we're officially legal. We just got our plates in, got our license plate mounted, got our plate light mounted up, wired up. So today I thought it would be a good day to go over some of the details of what it took to convert this legally to an RV in the state of Indiana. Stay tuned. So the insurance company and the state all required us to have everything in place that a traditional RV would come factory with. That means cooking appliances, a place to sleep, water, places to clean up, a bathroom, onboard power. All of that is a requirement in our state. There's a minimum number of these requirements or these amenities that you have to have. I believe it's 4 out of the 6 that are required, but I'm not 100% sure. That's going to vary state by state anyways, so be sure to check with your state and find out what you need before you get started. It'll make the process much simpler. Here, we built bids, as have been seen in our other videos. You can do this different ways. Some people have gotten away with even just setting a cot in place. It really depends on just how lucky you are with the agent you get at the DMV, if they're going to accept that or not. Now, we installed an RV stove. We also installed a dorm style refrigerator and an RV microwave. So we have several means of cooking in place on our bus. We've got a 42-gallon water tank, which is mounted up underneath our couch bed. We've got water pumps and everything on board too, so that covered us as far as our water requirements. And electricity, we've got 30 amp RV, a traditional 30 amp RV service. We've got a 30 amp panel down here with incoming 30 amp power from outside. Now, one of the parts of the process is filling out the paperwork. The paperwork involved is a form from the BMV called a body change form. It's very simple to fill out. Once you get it filled out, you'll have to have a local law enforcement officer come out and do a quick inspection of your bus. Now, what that basically entails is they're going to just look and make sure the vent is accurate and make sure that the seats are out of it pretty well. That's been my my experience with it. Some other areas may be a little bit more strict. I'm not sure on that, so you just have to check and see what the officer is going to require when he comes out and look. Most of them, because it's a pretty uncommon form, they just come out and do a VIN check, sign off on it, and you're on your way. One of the things I did find out in Indiana is that you're required to have pictures and receipts of your conversion when you finish filling out that paperwork and when you take it to the BMV. So be sure to have pictures and receipts of everything you've done to go along with that paperwork that you turn in. It'll make the process much smoother and you should be good to go. The report of vehicle body change is state form number 39771. Basically, what this form consists of is there's an owner information section, which you'll provide your name, your legal address, your city, state, and zip code. Vehicle information such as the VIN number, the vehicle year, make, and model. In section 3, the report of body change, you'll need to have your current body type listed. So mine was titled as a bus, which is listed as BS on the title. Body type after change would be RV for recreational vehicle, and the date the change was completed. Now, below that, you'll sign off on it, and section 5 is for your local law enforcement officer to fill out, which you'll fill out during the inspection. It's very simple. and it's a pretty easy process. But one of the requirements in Indiana says that you must submit pictures or receipts, documents that support the change of vehicle type. And all of this gets submitted to the state when you file this paperwork. So be sure to include pictures, be sure to include receipts if you've got them. Now for insurance requirements, they will require very similar amenities that the state does, so just be ready for that. So if you've got temporary items put in your bus to get your RV title, your insurance company might not be okay with that. So they're going to want pictures of everything. So personally, I'd be talking to your insurance company before you do anything conversion wise. Find out what they're going to require and go on and get that stuff done. It'll make it much simpler and you won't have to fight it later. Process of insuring our rig was very simple. We already had all the amenities in place that they required. We already submitted the paperwork, got our title back, so we had an RV title in hand. We had pictures of all the work we had done, and all we had to do was submit that to our agent. Within 2 weeks, he had us a full coverage RV policy, and we're good to go. Basically, as long as you can prove that you've got a place to sleep, a place to cook, and a place to clean up, you can get your title converted in the state of Indiana. Now, depending on the person at the DMV and the person in Indianapolis that reviews the case, it just depends on who you get as far as how picky they're going to be with those amenities. Some people have gotten away with temporary installations, and I for one didn't want to chance that, so we went on and built the thing out before we even tried to convert the title, which is what I suggest doing. It makes things much easier. Also, I suggest getting your title conversion in your home state. It makes things much simpler, especially when it comes to getting insurance, because many insurance companies nowadays will not insure a vehicle registered in another state. So I know a lot of people are going with a method of getting their title converted going through another state by mail. Now legally you can do that, but it's going to make it difficult come time to get insurance unless you transfer that title over to your home state. Just keep that in mind. Now let's talk about insurance and body modifications. As you can tell, obviously, we've done some substantial modifications to our bus. There are many insurance companies out there nowadays that won't allow it. They won't allow things such as raising the roof on your bus, which seems to be common practice anymore. So you really need to check with your insurance company on what they're going to allow. So if you're planning on having a deck up on the roof, raising the roof of your bus, doing any kind of structural modifications, you need to find out what the insurance company is going to do and what they require for that. They may not insure you at all, so be careful and just get the information first so it doesn't kick you in the rear end later. In upcoming videos, we're going to be covering in detail the water systems and electrical systems and all these different requirements that the state required. We're going to go in depth with what we did to meet those requirements. We'll be going in depth with water system installation, all the components that are part of that system. Same with the electrical system. I know a lot of people have questions on how to do these system installations. It's not rocket science. It's pretty basic. So we're going to go through all the details of that, so you'll have a pretty good idea of what it's going to take, and you should be able to handle it on your own. We're also going to be doing a 12,000 BTU mini split installation and a solar installation. We'll be doing a 600 watt solar installation, so we'll have a 600 watt array on the roof. We'll have a battery bank, charge controllers, all that. We'll cover the entire installation process, and we'll go over all the details of that as well, because I know a lot of people ask questions about the different components and all that. So we'll get in detail with that in the future too, so just keep an eye out for those videos. Well, that should pretty well cover the basics of getting your title converted to an RV in the state of Indiana. Check with your local state, your BMV, your DMV. Find out what their requirements are before you start this process. because in some states they're not even allowing bus conversions anymore. So be sure to check into this before you spend all this money and time just to find out you can't legally drive it on the road. So anyways, it's 9 million degrees out here now, so I'm gonna get buttoned up and head in the house. So have a good one. Thank you for watching.